Welcome to Nassau Community College Forum. This program explores our rich educational environment, including our dedicated faculty, administration, student clubs, and more than 70 fields of study, along with the students who make this college the largest single-campus community college in the state and is the first choice for one of every 4 college-bound high school graduates in Nassau County.
Hello, once again, I'm Kevin Boston Hill, and welcome to Nassau Community College Forum, where each week we will shine a spotlight on a different department, club, or area here at Nassau Community College. Today, it gives me great pleasure to explore the Speech, Debate, and Theater Team. Our guests today are Hernan Sanchez Garcia, I'm going to get this right, Peter Figueroa, and Felipe Nicholas Constant. Gentlemen, welcome to NPHC Forum on 90.3 WHPC.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, before we get into what the forensics team is about, and we'll define what the forensics means in a little bit, before we get into what this is all about, introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your journey coming into NCC.
So, hi, my name is Hernan Sanchez Garcia, and currently I am the president and captain of the NCC Speech, Debate, and Theater Team. I am the proud holder of the quarterfinalists in Pi Kappa Delta for persuasive speaking, the first NCC freshman to break at a 4 years national.
All right.
So I graduated from Bethpage High School, and when I graduated and I came to Nassau, I came here because I wanted to expand on my boundaries. I really wanted to get out of my comfort box, and so I took argumentation and debate with Trent Webb. That was a bit stressful, but I found it really exciting, and so when I heard about the team, I knew that it was something I really wanted to try, and so I just went to his office, I signed up for a practice meeting, and then I was handed my first speech info, which is my favorite topic.
Hi, my name is Peter Figueroa. I graduated from Carr Place High School. I'm in my second year here at Nassau, and I came to Nassau because I was unsure of what I wanted to do as far as major and as far as for the rest of my life. It's kind of a big decision. So I figured going to Nassau Community College, where my brothers have also attended, one of them currently attends, I figured it was the smartest move, not only academically but also financially, as Nassau helps a lot of us financially. A lot of us have work and other things going on as well. As far as the team, I thought about joining the team my first year coming here, but I wasn't sure. I wanted to get acclimated to Nassau first, coming from Carr Place High School. So I took acting in my first year, and in my second semester of my first year, I ended up taking Com 119 with Professor Webb, also with Hernan and Phil next to me. I was fortunate enough, and I thought, wow, it'd be really interesting to compete alongside these guys and to have my professor as my coach. I thought it would be crazy, so here we are.
All right.
And my name is Felipe Nicholas Constant. I'm the co-president of the Speech and Debate Team and the 2018 national champion at Phi Rho Pi for IPDA debate. My background, I grew up in South Florida, so okay. I'm not from New York.
Not at all.
Yeah, I'm not used to these cold winters. And then in 2016, January, I decided to make the move up here to New York, and I moved with some family that I have up here. And when I first moved up here, I got a job first, and then I was like, I want to be in school, so I came to Nassau just because everybody spoke highly about it.
Okay.
And I took speech and debate with Professor Webb. And that seems to be the story for most people here. And
the common thread among us.
Yeah. And he has this way of recruiting certain students, and that's what he did with me. He recruited me. He was like, "You should come. I think you'll be good." And he knows his students because he stroked my ego. He was like, I was like, "I want to be the best." He's like, "You can be the best." I was like, "Well, this sounds like the place I need to be."
All right.
And I ended up getting acclimated into the team, and I took 4 events last year and became the champion in an IPDA. So
okay.
That's a little bit of my story.
So for those who may not be aware or in the know of all these different terms, what is IDPA?
So IPDA stands for International Public Debate Association. It's a type of debate style that anybody can get into, and that's the reason for it. A lot of it is common language and just speaking casually and trying to get people to buy your case.
Okay. Yeah, and you are the 2018 national champion.
Yes, sir.
All right. Congrats.
Thank you.
So let me ask you, all of you, I assume, have a variety of majors. Right. Are any of you in like communications majors or speech majors? Which ones?
So I'm a communication major with the intention when I go to my 4-year school to focus a little bit more on political science because I want to go to law school.
Gotcha.
I am also a communication major here at Nassau. When I transfer, I'm not sure just yet exactly how I want to branch off, but I'm thinking anywhere in the Department of Rhetorical Studies, journalism, or even acting.
Okay. Now that makes sense. I mean, people can see the clear connection between your majors and why you wanted to join or were coerced into joining, depending on how you want to look at this, the speech and debate team. But now, Hernan, what's your major? What's that connection about?
So I'm a biology major with plans on becoming and either focusing in neuroscience or neurology when I transfer to my 4-year. The connection for me is that speech gives me leadership skills, and it teaches me how to be able to just present myself, whatever the research I have, to an audience. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
No, it makes perfect sense, and I think it's real important for our listeners to understand that you don't have to have the typical speech background to join the speech and debate team, or in this case, speech, debate, and theater team. That you can have a variety of backgrounds and to be part of this team. So, how many people are on your team currently?
There's about 6 of us right now. Yeah.
Okay. And how successful have you all been this year so far? Well, let's talk in terms of... okay, I know we don't want to brag about all the different trophies and awards and everything, even though we have a few 4th place trophies and 3rd place awards and team 3rd place and best community college awards. And aside from all of that, what are some of the competitions that you have been? How many competitions have you all been a part of so far this semester?
I think we've had about 5, right, guys?
6. Well, depending the early bird.
I think we can consider that. So about 6 tournaments.
6 tournaments? Okay. And how much traveling do you all usually do?
So
the best part of it.
So there's a split.
Okay.
First, we travel to schools that are a lot closer to us during the fall.
Okay.
Just to get the feel of the competition in our area. And then in the spring, we prepare for nationals. So with nationals, we need to compete with schools that are going to be in different regions. So in the coming weeks, we will be competing in Chicago. We will be competing in California.
We'll be competing in Chicago, or the suburbs of Chicago. This year, we'll be going to Reno for nationals.
Nice.
And I think there's a lot of flying. We're also going to Northern Virginia, but
can we say the other one?
What's the other one?
What's the other one?
Oh, what do you mean?
I'm getting that Peter's giving us that. No, we don't do that. Don't mention that one yet.
Yeah, no. For the folks at home, we have a lot of things in the works. We're very much like Marvel actors. We're not allowed. We can't give spoilers just yet.
I get you. So, once again, you are listening to Nassau Community College Forum on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Kevin Boston Hill, and our guests today are the primary members of the Nassau Community College Speech, Debate, and Theater Team. So, gentlemen, let me ask you this. I'm going to try to ask some questions that you don't have to give spoilers for. How can people generally get involved with becoming a member of the team? I know you all were pretty much coerced because the coach was your professor, but how can people ordinarily get involved?
So people can get involved, by contacting Trent Webb. His email is trent.webb. Trent.webb at ncc.edu. Or, sign up for one of his classes.
Not just that. You can also follow the forensics page on Instagram.
Okay.
NCC4N6 at Instagram. That's a direct way to get in contact with anybody associated with the team. So if you follow, you like a few pics, and you come to the office, we know you're interested.
Yeah, we also have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I would encourage you to reach out and come talk to any of us on the team. We'd be happy to speak with you about it, as well as contact Professor Trent Webb. I'm sure he'd love to speak to you as well if you're interested.
Great. Now, I wanted to take a back up a little bit here because I mentioned it in the opening, and then it came up again with your Instagram page. What is when people hear about speech and debate, they hear, okay, speech and debate. But now, when you mention the term forensics, most people, when they hear that, they're thinking CSI or something like that. So what's the connection between forensics and speech and debate?
So, as it was said to me, and I don't know how true this is, it could just be one of these, in-group fables, but as it was said to me is forensics essentially means in search of something. You're doing something in search of an answer to something. So forensic science, you are conducting experiments in efforts to find the answer to who committed this crime. With speech, debate, and acting, we are presenting speeches or acting events or debates in objective to find something, to find our truth or something of that nature. I don't know how true that is.
That's pretty close. It's pretty right on. I think the dictionary definition of forensics is actually something along the lines of a pathway of argumentation. So it fits right in. Okay, because I know, like I said, when you say, "Oh, I'm part of the forensics team," people think you're going to be walking around in lab coats or something like that. So let me ask you, how often do you all meet to get? I mean, do you have regular practices? Is it like a regular, typical team, the athletic team? What goes on?
As far as practices and stuff, there's a couple of working parts and components. I know we all have our own appointments. Like, for instance, I meet on Tuesdays with both Justin and Professor Webb, but we are students in addition to competitors. So we all have varying schedules. Some of us work jobs. We're normal people too.
Right.
So I think it varies upon person. But I know for me, I know you guys can speak to your own schedules, but I meet on Tuesdays with both of our coaches.
Okay.
So,
yeah, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, that's our schedules depending where we can fit it in.
Right. Well, I would assume as the co-captains, you probably meet a little bit more frequently than the other team members do.
Well, I think it really just, depends on what events we have out. I was lucky to have my 3 events out first.
Okay. So
now I'm just focusing on my other 2 events. So I meet with Justin Tuesdays, and I meet with Coach Trent Webb on Wednesdays. But yeah, when do you meet with him, Philippe?
So as you may see, I'm in my uniform here.
Yeah, just shooting in here from work, I see. Yeah,
exactly. I work a lot, and what I found is with working 40 hours a week and taking classes, Tuesdays club hour is the best time for me. Or Thursdays, if I'm on campus, I can come through during club hour and just talk to him or whatever I need.
Sounds good. Now, so you have your everything set up, and as far as what your practice schedules are going to be, and you work that around your work schedules and your class schedules. So when we come back from the break, I want to get into what are those actual events that are involved in speech and debate. So you are listening to National Community College Forum. I'm Kevin Boston Hill, and our guests today are the members of the NCC Speech, Debate, and Theater Team. We'll be right back after this important message on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
I'm a college student and could use advice about my student loan.
I had to leave school and go to work. Now I have to pay back student loans for a degree I don't have. Fortunately, I found assistance.
Back in college, I figured they wouldn't lend me more than I could easily pay back. Boy, was I wrong. Thankfully, I got the help I needed to pay back my loan in full.
Sound familiar? The good news is that student loan repayment options are available. We're the NFCC, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, a nonprofit organization with member offices nationwide that provide comprehensive financial reviews and student loan counseling. NFCC certified consumer credit counselors provide one-on-one financial counseling and can help you evaluate options for making student loan payments, reducing interest, debt consolidation, or even loan rehabilitation. Call 877-406-6322 or visit us online at studentloanhelp.org.
We now return to Nassau Community College Forum.
With the Berlin and over there. going to Nevada is big. You are listening to Nassau Community College Forum, and welcome back. I'm Kevin Boston Hill, and our guests today, once again, are members of the NCC Speech, Debate, and Theater Team. So let me ask you, we left off on the break talking about the different types of events that are available. So what events are available during the speech and debate competitions?
So I'm going to start off with the speech events. There are 4 speech events. We have informative speaking, persuasive speaking, communication analysis, and after-dinner speaking, or also known as speech to entertain. Informative speaking is a speech event in which a competitor performs, memorizes, and writes a 10-minute speech meant to inform an audience about a topic of social significance. Persuasive speaking is also a speech event in which, a 10-minute speech, in which the competitor tries to call the audience to take action against a societal issue. And communication analysis is when you take a piece, a campaign, a message, you apply a theory to it to analyze whether or not it's effectively portraying that message. And STE, ADS, after dinner speaking, is a 10-minute humorous speech in which you use humor to bring light to some sort of societal issue or,
Okay.
Okay, I'll speak about the theater events. So some of the theater events that we do are prose, drama, poetry, program of oral interp, also known as POI, as well as duo. Essentially what you do is you take a series of literature or only one piece of literature and essentially, you interpret the piece, and oftentimes we collectivize them and cut them in a way that puts forth an argument.
Okay.
Good. And then the debate events, there are several different types of debate. So as I told you guys earlier, I do the IPDA debate. That's one person up there by themselves. You get 30 minutes of research. After you enter the room, you present your 30 minutes of research by debating. There is a partnered style debate called NPDA. And with that, there's 2 people. Those 2 people get their research and they enter their room and they argue. Then there's Lincoln Douglas debate and a whole bunch of other debates that are slowly dying off.
Okay, so let me ask. So then let's go around the room. What are the events that you all participate in, and what are your favorites?
Okay.
Just talk about, I know how top secret the actual titles and compositions are, but so you don't have to get into that. Just talk about the events themselves.
I can talk about that all day.
Favorite? You have to pick a favorite? Ooh.
Well, you don't have to pick one. Pick 2 or 3 if they're all.
Right. Who wants to go first?
Shoot, me. So there's 4 different types. There's 4 different events I have right now.
Okay.
One of them is called Program Oral Interpretation, which is an acting event where you just get sources from almost every source available to you. So that means videos, maybe tweets, things that were written, all kinds of things. That one is about being black in white spaces, and I won't go into too much detail about it, but it's a very interesting piece. And then I have a communication analysis speech where I would be analyzing a vitiligo doll and questioning whether or not it restructures how we understand and look at black beauty. That's my newest event. I'm excited about that.
Okay, nice.
I had to do debate, and then my last event is going to be something that I'll let Peter talk on because he's got part to do with it too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So the events that I do, I'm going to hold that off. Say the best for last. But the events that I do are poetry, POI, as well, the same event that Phil does. POI is essentially a collection of different types of literature, different genres of literature, all the different genres put together in one piece, as well as we have an ADS in the works, an after-dinner speech, as well as duo, which is what Phil was alluding to. Duo is essentially can either be one piece of literature. I know that when you were competing, you did one piece of literature for duo.
Yes.
As well as more recently, it's more been a POI of 2 different people.
Okay.
And so I have 5 events planned. Currently, I have 2 out because I'm reworking one. And so I do informative speaking, I do communication analysis, I do persuasive speaking, and dramatic interpretation, as well as poetry. My informative speech is on the Bracero program, and I'm tying it to nowadays with today's current immigration problems. My persuasive speech is going to be on loitering laws. My communication analysis, my original one was on National Geographic and whether or not its apology can be accepted as rhetorical messaging on international racism. But I'm changing it to cover, to analyze the media coverage of the border and ask the question as to whether or not it's effectively helping or hurting with the crisis. My DI, it's about this Latino guy who is facing troubles with confronting his heritage, and so because he wants to be successful and ambitious, and so in order to do that, he feels like he has to cut that part off of him, and it's really just this crazy journey of him coming to terms with that. And then my poetry is by this poem. It's one poem, rare. I am fucking. It's really just narrating the struggles Mexican Americans have here within the U.S.
No. Okay, go ahead.
His DI is hilarious. Like, you will die out laughing the first time you hear it and every time after that. It is hilarious.
I'm sure. I would love to hear it at some point. So let me ask you, how difficult is it to find topics or to find pieces to actually perform?
It's not difficult at all. I mean, if you ever have a feeling that you want to say something of anything you experience, like, wow, I hate when I walk into a store and I hit my toe on the sliding glass window. You can do a speech about that. That's a hyperbole. But
yeah,
you can find a topic to anything that you empathize with and go up there and speak it. And you'll find that it's very easy when you're given the opportunity to do that.
Okay. As far as finding topics, there are things that we all, no matter who you are, face on a daily basis, or that we as a society do not typically recognize. So for finding topics, it isn't too hard to just sit and, if you think about it, I'm sure that everyone has something that they want to say. Everyone has a voice. So as far as finding a topic or something that you want to speak about, it's something that comes from within you that you recognize, that you feel that you have to speak about. So that's why I would say finding a topic is not too difficult. It can be a bit perplexing. There's certain topics that you want to talk about that have already been talked about. So It's like, and then it just gets to, well, okay, what are you going to bring to this topic and to this?
Right. So you are listening to Nassau Community College Forum on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Kevin Boston Hill, and my guests today are Hernan Sanchez Garcia, Peter Figueroa, and Philippe Nicholas Constant, all from the NCC Speech Debate and Theater Team. So let me ask you guys this, because I know, again, when it comes to, you kind of mentioned it, when it comes to developing or coming up with a speech topic or even finding a good piece to do, it seems to be pretty easy for you all, because I was going to ask, based on your presentations, how much of that is personal or kind of based on personal experiences?
So, mine this year are pretty personal. Like, for example, the speech that I'm doing about being black in white spaces, it sort of came from the idea of, I was at a tournament with my coach in, I think it was California, Chicago. This was last year. And I was on Twitter, and I saw a video of this man who, it was kind of a joke, but I guess he was serious, about when he went to a Whole Foods and another black man didn't respond to him. He didn't give him the head nod. You know, we all do the head nod.
Right.
And he was upset. So he did a small rant about it on his phone. And I showed my coach, and he was like, that's interesting. Somebody should do a piece on being black in white spaces, in traditionally white spaces, and what that experience is like. And I loved it. I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And all of my events sort of follow that pattern, so they're all very personal to me.
Okay. Hernan?
My events are also very personal. It was actually really hard to find topics for me because I don't know, I'm a pain to work with. But yeah, on my events, my informative speech was very near and dear to me, especially, with the Bracero program, which was the objectification of laborers, Mexican laborers, which were brought over here to the U.S. and exploited, and nowadays, we still have that, and the Bracero program serves as the foundation for all of that, and and that's working with that kind of community. It really does affect me. My DI is also very personal too, in the sense that while it may be humorous, it still has that serious message in not being able to to just be yourself, and because of your ethnicity, etc. And my communication analysis is also very personal, with the border crisis and, all of what the terrible things that are happening nowadays, it just, someone needs to, I think, shed light on that, and it just, Yeah,
no, I commend all of you for bringing these issues and things to light in whatever way that you can. A lot of them they're all entertaining. Some of them are more serious than others, but it's all in an entertaining way. And Peter, you're working on an ADS, or after dinner speech, a speech for humor. Can you shed any light on what your potential topic might be, or even a past topic that you
oh God.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, God. Okay. A past topic that I did was about atheism. Some misconceptions about atheism, as well as how it's seen in society.
Okay.
What I'm working on now, I don't know how much I could say. It's broadly speaking, it's about PC culture and being political correct, which is something that we've seen come and go at the same time, ironically. But as far as my other pieces, my poise is about being multiracial, which is something very personal for me, being of Puerto Rican descent, being a white passing Latino, and in America is something very personal to me, something that I face on a daily basis. Writing the intro for it, I wrote it and I was like, oh my God, I have to do this. And I brought it to my coaches and they were like, okay. So they gave me the go on that, as well as my poetry piece is about bipolar disorder, which, as I was talking to one of our coaches, Justin, about it, the more we're working on it and talking about it, the more I'm realizing how personal it is to me, the people around me that have it, as well as when you perform these things that we're talking about, you see it in your audience, how personal it is to them as well.
Right.
And how many people actually face these issues.
Right. So again, it sounds like there's a lot of research that goes into the selection of all your topics and developing them all, as well as there's a lot of learning that you all do through the performance of your pieces. Thank you. So let me ask you I want to kind of end with this. This is your chance now to pitch the speech, debate, and theater team to the entire Nassau Community College community. What would you say to get them to join?
You're going to get to travel. That's a big thing for a lot of people who haven't seen California or Chicago, or who may get to see Berlin, as we're going to in the coming months. What else? You learn, and that's a really big deal. You share experiences with other people. You get the potential to get scholarship money to other schools, and overall, you have fun.
Just to piggyback on what Phil was saying, you get to travel, but most importantly, you also get a voice to speak about things that you face personally, and speak about them and teach people about what you face in your daily life.
Great. So we'd like to thank our guests today, all members of the NCC Speech and Debate and the Theater Team, Hernan Sanchez Garcia, Peter Figueroa, and Philippe Nicholas Constant. Once again, my name is Kevin Boston Hill, and thank you all for listening to Nassau Community College Forum, right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.